It's time for a rundown on some of our national and international stories for this Friday morning. First of all, the United States officially slapped sanctions on Russia over the alleged cyber attacks, saying specifically that it was due to Russian interference in the elections. And additionally, 35 Russian diplomats were expelled from the country, given 72 hours to leave. This is virtually unprecedented. Not since the Cold War have we seen this kind of action by the United States against Russia. Meanwhile, now Russia is considering whether some kind of a symmetrical response should be considered. In other words, them expelling U.S. diplomats. Meanwhile, in Syria, a ceasefire has been agreed upon as of midnight last night, backed by Russia and Turkey, with Russia saying that they've withdrawn their troops from a peaceful Syria. In Finland, a police chief has been jailed for drug smuggling. This is a guy, his last name Aarnio, who was the head of the anti-drug department, caught actually smuggling drugs himself into Finland. Estonians apparently do not trust NATO to take care of them in the case of a conflict with Russia or anyone else. The latest poll numbers out showing that they trust their own local government and local police more. The President of the United States, in an attempt to solidify his environmental record or legacy or whatever it is, has created 2 giant nature preserves in western states, in Nevada and Utah. These 2 areas, Ears and Gold Butte, are expected to protect native artifacts and lands. It's turned all the legislators basically in the West upside down, and they're like, you can't do this. That's our land. We want to develop it. Well, it's also going to be very hard for Trump to undo it, despite all of his rhetorics. The man who was wrongly arrested over the Berlin attack did an interview with The Guardian. Navid Bolok is the fellow's name, a Pakistani who was picked up and then let go when they figured out that just because he had dark skin and was the same age as the fellow they were looking for, maybe he wasn't actually the right one. He gave an interview with The Guardian because he's basically afraid for his life right now. You can read about it, and you can also listen to the full story by downloading the 30-minute news version that I have at my website, radiofreespeech.com. The latest on the Russian plane crash, they're not ruling out an attack right now. All they've got definitely is that the plane's flaps weren't working right when it went down. The Philippines President Duterte now threatening to throw corrupt legislators out of helicopters, saying that he's done it before. This is a fellow who basically has admitted to, crimes, killing suspects, not even people who were convicted of crimes, but just suspects of drug crimes. He has admitted to killing them, and now he's backpedaled a little bit, saying, that would be ridiculous. Why would I throw anybody out of a helicopter? And last story we have here on the international scene is the way the strategy of the United States appears to be to set Russia against China. At least that's what Russia thinks, according to the Pravda newspaper. Once again, check out what I'm doing at my website, radiofreespeech.com, if you like it. Buy a subscription or support me on Patreon. And tell all your friends, if you have a suggestion either for a commentary or a news tip, send me an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com. Today's commentary focuses a little bit on fatherhood, specifically where to put all those kids at bedtime if you have a large family. I'll tell you what I do next.